Welcome to ETFinalscore.com, your source for all the highlight stats and stories and scores from around East Texas high school football, with your host, Eric Sullivan.
What's up, everybody? Here we are, round number 2 of the high school football playoffs, and we have it all for you over the next 30 minutes right here on the ETFinalscore.com football show special playoff edition. Jeff Schaefer is going to join us live from Forney at that White House football game, and the Tyler Paper ETFinalscore.com sports writers and correspondents will be joining us on the phone as well. The best way to be a part of the show, get on Twitter, tweet at us, or look for scores, stats, highlights, all that good stuff at ETFinalscore.com is the Twitter handle. Now, last Friday night, the White House Wildcats received an opening round scare, but the great Pat Mahomes Jr. put on his Superman cape and saved the day. Tonight, the Cats were in Forney for a rematch against Sulphur Springs, a team they beat by 39 earlier this season. Early on, with all that wet weather, here comes Shamar Smith. He had a heck of a ball game, straight up the middle for a big run. And then Patrick Mahomes Jr. trying to get the passing game going. Ryan Cheatham had himself a ball game. Way to hold on to the ball there, Ryan. And then Mahomes doing what he does, gets out of pressure somehow, completes the pass to Jake Parker. I tell you, Jake Parker, one of the top receivers around, and he was the man tonight. Just moments later, it's going to be Parker off a deflected pass, touchdown, and White House takes a 7-0 lead. Jake Parker was the man tonight, as I mentioned. Sulphur trying to get something done. Larry Pryor scrambles to get a first down for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats. On fourth down, though, Pryor goes for Albert Burney in the end zone, but it is broken up. Great play right there by Nate Brooks in the end zone. Mahomes now trying to get it going and get some more points on the board. If you do that in this rainy weather, you're going to be all right. It's Ryan Cheatham again. Gets out of bounds, and then how about this pass and catch by Jake Parker? That's NFL style for Mahomes Jr. And then let's get that running game back going. As they didn't score on that drive, the next drive, it's going to be one play here after a big run from the Shamar Smith man. It's Jake Parker on another long scoring pass. 14-7 at this point. Sulphur hanging around this game, but White House would respond right before halftime as Dominique Hawley, look at the camera, all foggy and wet, just gets to the 1-yard line, but that's okay. Cheatham is there to take it in for the score. 21-7, a good cushion, and White House very impressive in the weather and the elements tonight. 38-14 is your final score. We'll give you the when and where on White House's next game coming up in just a second. With more on the big one tonight at Citibank Stadium, we go back to Forney, where our Jeff Schaefer was roaming the wet and rainy, windy sidelines all game long. Jeff has our post-game report with the Wildcats.
Well, now that the game out in Forney is over, we made our ways indoors to avoid the cold and the rain that was still coming down. But White House tonight ended up coming up with a big win over Sulphur Springs, beat Sulphur Springs for the second time this season. I'm joined now by White House head coach Adam Cook. Now, Coach, you told me before the game that this is a different Sulphur Springs team than you played the first time this season. So, I mean, how did you get your guys ready? Are you happy with how they responded to playing this team a second time?
Definitely happy with the way we responded, and again, not only were they a different team, but I tried to make it clear to these guys that we're a different team. We are totally different than when we played them week 3, but just very excited for the way the boys were able to come out tonight and battle despite the weather and all that stuff. But, man, I love these guys and the way they're playing, and, we're ready for the next game.
One guy who certainly played his role in the wins tonight, Jake Parker, the receiver for the Wildcats. Now, Jake caught a couple touchdown passes there in the first half. I mean, talk to me a little bit about just what it was like playing out there and getting accustomed to, the cold and the rain, something that it's kind of hard to prepare for, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was real tough, especially as a receiver catching the ball. But, I mean, once you get out there and get adjusted to it, then, I mean, it's good from there. So it went well.
Yeah, what was it about Sulphur Springs maybe that allowed you to kind of, find yourself open? It seemed like you were, not only on the touchdown catches, but a couple other times, you were able to get some space and make some nice catches tonight.
I mean, they're a good defense, but I just felt like I was better than whoever they put on me tonight, and I exposed that.
And, more of a comfortable win than the last couple weeks, the JT game and then the Seguin game last week. Is it a little bit nicer to have more breathing room in tonight's game?
Oh, yeah, it felt a lot better to come out, be able to come out of the game and put the second strings in and chill on the sideline and just know we had this victory instead of it coming down to the last seconds like the last 2 weeks. So.
All right, well, Jake, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
So, a big win for White House. Of course, the Wildcats stay undefeated and moving right on to the next round.
Of the elements tonight. All right, there it is, 38-14 your final score. This just in, White House in round number 3 plays Mesquite Poteet. They have history with them in the playoffs. That game Friday, 1 p.m. in Allen at the Super Stadium up in Allen. Friday, 1 p.m. All right, let's move along here. At Rose Stadium tonight, the Kilgore Bulldogs were in action against Kaufman. Coach Wood and the Dogs looking to win their 12th game in a row. It was nasty at Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium as well. On the kickoff, how about the big guy, Jared Wood, the big return, but the Dogs weren't able to get any points, and Crandall would actually shock them and have a long drive for a score, 7-0. Kaufman with the lead. Benny Colbert gets it going here. He's going to let it fly because he knows Nick Orange is going to come through with the big reception right there, getting Kilgore in scoring territory. Davionta Brown, look at the tough run right there. There's so many great running backs for the Kilgore Bulldogs. That would lead to Kevin Justice touchdown, 7-7. Second half, 14-all, and there's the man, Kevin Justice, exploding for the big run down the left sideline. That would then set up Davionta Brown. He likes this role. Let Kevin do all the hard work rushing, and I get to score touchdowns, but this is a great run by Brown right here. He's keeping it in the middle of the field, knows his blockers, knows the scheme, and gets it in for the score, 21-14, and that would be your final score. So Kilgore holds on, but gets it done and survives to live another round, and they win it 21-14. We stay in 3A Division I. Chapel Hill played great last Friday to beat unbeaten Athens. Tonight in Royce City against Crandall, and I tell you, great play by Jesse Mumphrey right there, but Crandall just having all kinds of issues with the rain. The punter not able to get nothing there. White House would not be able to get any points on that drive as well, and then here comes more issues with the football. Crandall just simply could not hold on to it, and then Andrew Black says, enough of this sloppy play. We're going to do it my way. Read option and keeper, and look at him go. He did this last week against Athens, slides for another 15 yards. Gets back on the football. That would set up Wesley Thompson getting it after that big Andrew Black run. He's like, hey, I'm out of breath. Wesley, take it in for the first points of the ball game. You got it, 7-0 as the score at this point. And then play of the game right here, another read option. This is not a replay. Black cutting it back to the right side. Look at, he's like, Coach, I'm a running back by trade. Unbelievable. Up the left sidelines, 80-yard touchdown. The Chapel Hill Thrill is rolling, folks. Final score 38-14. Job well done by Coach Sitton and the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. They move on to round 3. Hey, the District of Doom dominated round 1. Would they do it in round 2? This is Gladewater taking on Atlanta. That's going to be Chase Musgrove sacked by the great Dalen Mack right there. And then it's going to be Eric Abston going down, and then on this touchdown run by Chase Musgrove would give them the lead. Nigel Musgrove again is going to lateral to Zach Marsh, who gets it to J.C. Flowers, and J.C. on the trick play, good enough for 20 yards for Atlanta, but the Gladewater defense would step up right here. Musgrove rolling, kind of throws it up for grabs right here, and Justin Tyaska says, I'm all over it, gets the interception. Big play right there. He would return it 15 yards, and after a nice run by the Bears, it's going to be the super freshman getting the touchdown, Darnell McKnight, 14-10. Gladewater with the lead, and folks, the District of Doom still unbeaten in the playoffs as Gladewater in a thriller wins it 34-33. So Gladewater, Gilmer, Chapel Hill, and all moving on in the playoffs, including these guys. The Gilmer Buckeyes last night just rolled over Pittsburgh 48-0. Tanner Barr, I tell you what, he's one of the most experienced and winningest quarterbacks in East Texas, taking his team all the way to the state finals last year. He accounted for 4 touchdowns last night in Gilmer's victory, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground, including this outstanding touchdown catch right here by Mr. Desmond Pollard. I said this last night, kind of a Des Bryant move right there. Buckeyes, unbelievable. They'll take on Argyle in round number 3, which should be a good one. Don't forget, we've got Saturday football. Just 2 games this time around. It's going to be Longview back over the Dallas area. The Highlands are going to take on McKinney Boyd as they look to get to round number 3. Longview, impressive win last week to open up the playoffs in Wascom. What a story. Still unbeaten, but they got a tough one at South Lake Carroll, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Wascom taking on Rosebud Lott. But how about that District of Doom? Just unbelievable so far, but that's why it's the toughest district in the state. More shows still to come, more highlights, more scores, more updates on who's playing where. We've got Carthage, White Oak, and U Springs all coming up. And Hunter, put that Twitter page up for us real quick. That's where you want to go to get all of your info. Go to ET Final Score, at ET Final Score, to get it all. First break right now. Don't go anywhere.